What's up, everyone, and welcome into the Buffalo Sports Collective. It is Friday, December 20th, 2024. As always, I am PK alongside my co-host Phil for episode 319, one away from 320. It has no bearing and really no significance at all. It's a round number. Whoop-de-doo. That's all I got for you. Phil, how's it going over there? And Phil's studio. It's nice and green for the holidays. I love the theme. When we first signed on, I was like, we don't cover any green teams. And then I forgot. I've done literally. Let me ask you this. I'm changing on the fly here. Have you done all of your Christmas shopping? And or are you one of those ones that shops early, or are you last minute type of shopper?
I used to be last minute. I've gotten better. I wouldn't say I'm early. I'm not like the October, November people. I would say I'm late November, early December. I like to have it tried, try my best to have it figured out. I have one gift left I have to buy. I know what it is. It's all good. I was just kind of hoping for a last minute sale on it. So I'm just kind of pushing that to the very, very edge. But that's the only, I got one more from my nephew. And after that, I'm done. And the wife has already wrapped all of them, so we're good over here. We are well ahead of the game right now.
Why don't you ask me the same question?
PK, what about you? How's your Christmas shopping and wrapping going?
So normally, I'm last minute.
Okay.
This year, I'm last second. I have done zero shopping. It is we're recording this 7:30, December 19th. Christmas is the 25th, like it is every year.
Yeah.
I've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nobody's really given me any ideas, which also is not ideal. They usually just send me links and I'll go, okay, and then I buy it. Haven't really gotten any of those. I've asked, do you have ideas? I've gotten told no. So me and my wife are going out because we're both off today when you're listening to this Friday, because we had extra vacation days that we didn't use throughout the year. So we're using, Fridays and Mondays to have 3-day weekends. But we're going out there and just getting gift cards. If you're listening to this and you're my family, you're getting a gift card. I don't know what else to tell you. One, because you didn't give me any ideas. And two, just haven't had any time. It's been nonstop movement over here. I got rid of another box today, Phil. It's looking a little bit more clear. You got clothes over here now in my closet. You got my fantasy football trophy over there, which I beat you. Or no, I didn't beat you, but you were eliminated. And
I'm gone.
I did beat you 2 weeks ago, but I might be adding my name again to my little trophy in the background there. I had to move it to make sure you could see it. I know there's talk about you you're outsourcing your team.
I am. I'm done.
What I'm hearing.
I'm done. Fantasy has been unkind to me for a long time. I'm one of the best in regular season wins in our league throughout the entire existence of it, but best I've ever done is second place. My first round picks are consistent busts every single year, despite every year going in that they are guaranteed hits, no problem, that they're going to be amazing, and then they either get injured or, like Tyreek Hill this year, number one fantasy player in all of football last year, should have came in and they're like, no worries, he'll repeat, maybe not be a number one, but he'll at least be, top 10, should be amazing every single week. And he's horrible. It's not even like he went from 1 to 10 or 1 to 20. He went from like 1 to 70 and 0 points every week. It's great. Love fantasy football. I did go 4 for 4 in making playoffs this year in the leagues I can make playoffs. So, I mean, that's something. I got 2 bye weeks and I won round 1 of my other leagues. So I'm in 3 out of 4 semifinals. So I guess I'll take it.
So
we'll
I know
see if it goes anywhere.
Nobody really likes hearing about other people's fantasy teams and stuff like that. Like, they all put up with it.
I enjoy it.
I also enjoy it, but the majority of people don't. My question to you is, are you the same way as a lot of fantasy players that your most important league is the one that you're still alive in? Or is the most important league still the main or OG one?
What do you mean?
Like, I care, personally, me,
Yeah.
I care about CFFL more
Yeah,
than
that's
all
the
the
number
other
one.
ones. And yes, that's the only one I'm still in. Dynasty, I was the highest scoring team by like 200 points.
It was ridiculous.
And it stunk all year because I kept losing games by like 1 or 2 or 3 points. And the other games I would blow the doors off everybody else, and I missed playoffs. But even before that, I still considered CFFL my most important league.
Yeah.
So are you that same way? Like,
Yeah.
once you lost in CFFL, did your most important league transfer to like Dynasty one that we got now, or is it still CFFL?
No, it's still CFFL. Like if I win in any of the other ones, I'll be excited. It won't feel as good as winning in CFFL. Yeah, so I'll be happy to win any of the leagues. I mean, that'll be fun. But yeah, none of them would be as meaningful as winning our main league. And every single time I talk about it with people who have no idea what other leagues I'm in, I always call it the main league I'm in.
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm out, and that is the one next year. I am strongly considering outsourcing my GM capabilities because I put in a ton of effort, follow the waivers, listen to one podcast, but, go pretty hard, and it means absolutely nothing. So clearly it's got to be handed over to somebody else. The fans of my team are restless, and they are looking for new leadership to come in and save them, much like the Sabres, but we'll get to them.
Yeah, I'm going against Texas John. He was on the podcast.
And I'm going against Texas John as well.
We're trying to save the league from the miserable being of Texas, and we're going to do the Lord's work as much as we can. I've got a bet out with him. There was multiple ideas tossed back and forth, and it resulted in the winner gets to choose the loser's 7th round pick next year. And he's going to look so good with, I haven't even picked yet. I'm
you better make it real good.
I'm either deciding like a really, really bad one or give him a really, really good one and still crush his team because it's already determined. I'm going to beat him. Like it's a foregone conclusion. He went 12-2. He beat me twice in the regular season, but my team is just going to stomp the life out of his pathetic little team. And yeah, Texas John, I'm talking right to you right now because I know you're going to be listening because I'm going to tell you I'm saying this. I'm going to kick the living daylights out of your team personally and through the internet on fantasy. Your team is going down, man. Like, man, there's a lot of trash talking I've done in the last couple days, and it's going to be bad if I lose.
The big question is, for the bet, can he drop the player week 1?
No, it's got to be 4 weeks on the team.
Okay. See, that makes the bad player a little more enticing because if he has some kind of big injury or waivers are most exciting through those first 4 weeks. So if he has to get rid of somebody else that actually might be decent because he has to keep this, I would hope, defensive player on his team and we don't have IDPs, that'd be pretty fantastic.
Defenses were checked off. But I was going to say, like, I could draft him a second quarterback, but I'm like, that's usually the round he already drafts a second quarterback. That's what I mean. Like, do I just help him? Because I think his fantasy career is just...
The best way to help him would be like an Amari Cooper, who's going to sit on your bench the entire season, never do anything for your fantasy team, but he has potential, so you have to keep him.
That's true. I might be able to throw out a
kind of player you're
Trojan
looking
horse.
At. That's the player you're looking for.
So if anybody else out there has any ideas for me, because I'm going to win, that I can draft, we got time,
picks.
but send them to our Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Buffalo Sports Collective, and on X and Blue Sky at Buffalo Sports Co. Don't forget to follow our channel wherever you listen to podcasts, YouTube, iHeart, Odyssey, wherever you can get podcasts. We're on. Check out our website at buffalosportscollective.com. You can check out our store on our link tree on all our social media sites or at the top of the website by simply hitting the shop tab. You can represent the BSC on the go and look for the time breakdowns in the description of the show. So if you don't like the opening segment of fantasy football, me trash talking Texas John, you can skip right to this one and there'll be a little marker of a timestamp right now when we start the Bills segment here. Once again, we don't preview the games because, one, we don't care, and two, there's other content creators that do a far better job than we ever could if we do actually try at this. But AFC standings, 3 weeks to go. Buffalo is still in reach of the number 1 seed. I think that's a major reason why Patrick Mahomes and his 13-1 or 13-1 Kansas City Chiefs, who are the number 1 seed right now, is playing on a bum ankle. Buffalo's number 2, 11-3. Like I said, they're still in reach. They cannot. Actually, they can be. If they lose somehow to New England and Kansas City wins, they will not have a chance at the number 1 seed. They got a little help last week. Pittsburgh did fall. They're down to 10-4. Houston's 9-5 in that 4th seed. Right now, the 3 wildcard seeds, Baltimore 9-5, Denver 9-5, and that might be changing. Well, it will be changing by the time you're listening to this. They're facing the Chargers Thursday night, who are 8-6, currently in that 7 spot, and they would be lined up to face Buffalo. This Thursday night game, which we really don't have to talk about because the results will already be out there, has major implications on who Buffalo might be facing in the first round. So Indy, Miami, Cincinnati, all 6-8, long shots to make the playoffs. But right now, Buffalo trying to hold off Pittsburgh and Houston, and they're still trying to hunt down Kansas City. They need some help.
Yeah, I mean, I think the scariest thing out of all this, I don't think it would happen. It would need a lot to happen, and I don't see Baltimore falling like that. But if Baltimore fell to the 6 or 7 and you had to play them round 1, that'd be scary. I do hope, in a weird way, that Buffalo gets to play Baltimore and avenge themselves. But if somebody else kicks them out, that's cool too. But I think like you said, the number 2, it's definitely Buffalo's to lose. I think at this point. I mean, Pittsburgh, like you mentioned on the last show, we went through everybody's remaining schedule. You had Pittsburgh losing 4 straight games. They've lost 1 of the 4 you predicted them losing. So they are well on their way to that. Again, Buffalo's schedule the rest of the way, you can't sleep on it. You can't just give up. You can't coast to the playoffs, especially because there are implications. You'd like to be the 2 seed or the 1 seed. So they still have to go into all these games, put up big points, win. Don't let the Patriots somehow beat you, the Jets somehow beat you. But if Buffalo goes in the next 3 weeks and takes care of business, I would assume, like you mentioned, Pittsburgh's going to lose 1 of their next 3. And realistically, with Buffalo's remaining schedule, they're pretty safe. Again, can't overlook anything. Anything can happen. We've seen it way too many times. But Buffalo should, in theory, be pretty safe in the 2 seed right now, and then really just chasing that 1. But KC's going to have to fall a little bit, and they just constantly win 1-score games. So, I mean, time's running out for that 1 seed, but I do think they're pretty safe in the 2 seed.
So let's get into this hot topic here.
All right.
Josh Allen is the foregone number 1 favorite to win the MVP. My biggest question to you, and I might have a difference of opinions in this one.
Sure.
Do we really care if Josh Allen wins the MVP? Like, I know it would be a nice thing, but do you, Phil, co-host of the BSC, care if Josh Allen wins an MVP?
I don't know.
That's why,
like you said, I think it would be nice. I'll put it this: do I care if he loses it? I guess is how I'm going to phrase it. No, I'll put it that way. Like, if he lost, would I be like, oh no, the world's falling? No, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, he got outvoted again. It happens, whatever. But if he wins, I think it'd be cool to have somebody in Buffalo win it. I don't know the last time Buffalo's had an MVP in the NFL.
Thurman Thomas, I think in 92 or 93, maybe even 91, early 90s.
So a really long time.
Well,
so for that aspect of it, I think it'd be cool just to have an MVP back in Buffalo. I think Allen deserves it. He's been really good for a long time. He's been carrying this team the entire season. So I think it'd be cool for Allen. I think it'd be cool for Buffalo. So I think it'd be exciting if he wins. Do I care if he loses? No.
That's kind of where I'm at. I like that you put if he loses, do you care? And the answer is no. So really, if he wins it, it'd be a cool thing. But in the end, titles mean more than MVPs to me. And yes, it would be a really cool thing. His publicity could be even higher than it already is, which I'm not sure it could be. He's pretty much one of, if not the face of the NFL right now. He's up for Sportsman of the Year. And credit to the Buffalo Bills. That was a great little reel they put out about, how can this guy, number 1 trash talker, could possibly be the sportsmanship man of the year, Art Rooney.
If that's where we're going with it, sure.
To me, and again, if you feel differently, that's all more power to you. Whatever you got to do to make yourself feel better at night. I just don't care. Like, yes, he was probably robbed a couple of years ago. I don't care. Like, individual awards, yes, they're cool to be able to win it, but like even when Ryan Miller won the Vezina, it's like, yeah, okay, but you didn't do any, you didn't make it to the Stanley Cup final. It's like if
I mean, I don't know if that was his fault, but
right. Yeah, but if they don't even bring up Game 7, but if Buffalo doesn't even make a Super Bowl and he still wins an MVP, like, are people down the road, they're probably still going to be talking about it. Remember MVP year, Josh Allen, and it wasn't even his best statistical year. But it's more about the Super Bowl to me, and less about, hey, he won the MVP. It'd be cool, like, have a MVP in Buffalo. It'd be very cool, but I'm not going to get up in arms about him not winning the MVP. He's getting plenty of respect around the league. Everybody's still considering him, besides the 11 players in the NFL that, you know, voted him overrated. But I the way you put it, would you care if he lost it, is the perfect way I'm thinking. If he wins it, do I care? It'd be cool, but I mean, if he doesn't come out on top, and like Lamar Jackson or, you know, I think Saquon Barkley kind of kissed any chance he had away last week, and I know your firsthand knowledge of that. Sorry, once again bringing it up, but yeah, it's, if he wins it, cool. If he loses it, big deal. Did you make the Super Bowl? That's all I really care about.
I think it kind of shows where Buffalo is in wanting to win anything.
Yes.
I think that's really what it brings up. We don't have any Super Bowls, so at least like, wow, we got a recent MVP, so there's that. That's something. It's not nothing. So
I mean, we can even tie in the Buffalo Bandits. Like, Dane Smith won it a couple years ago. Josh Byrne literally just won it last year. Is that still talked about much? No, it's the title. It's the NLL championship that they won. Yes,
right.
It goes with it. But
right.
Say that Buffalo fell short and they ended up losing to Georgia in overtime instead of winning it. You know, is that still talked about, that Josh Byrne won the MVP last year, which is a huge major accomplishment? Not trying to downplay any of this MVP talk. It's a major accomplishment. But to me, as like talking, covering the whole team as a whole, it's the end title that really means the most. And I think that comes with the territory of being a title Super Bowl contender. And that's what we talked about a few episodes ago, is did you raise the bar for this team's expectations? And we both said, yes, you have to raise the bar based on what they're playing, how they're playing right now. We went into saying, hey, they're going to get the 4th seed, and I predicted they would be the one and done. They still could technically get to be the 4th seed and be one and done. But the goalposts have moved. It's to me, it's AFC Championship or bust. If you don't at least get back to there, the MVP, you can flush it down the toilet, in my opinion, because I do not care. It comes down to what the overall team did. And it goes back to Josh Byrne. If they lose to Georgia in the first round, yes, it's great to have an MVP in Buffalo, but your team ultimately did not win the end goal. And to me, that's what's more important in the grand scheme of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun now, especially because Dane already had a couple, right, that Byrne has it. And I think it's cool that for the Bandits, especially, I mean, again, like you said, everything's easier because the Bandits won the championship. But
exactly,
recently, when you like listen to the broadcast and stuff, they're like, oh, they got 2 MVPs on their side of the field, and like that's kind of awesome to have multiple MVPs on the same team, let alone the same offense. But I mean, if you ask any player, like how many times did we listen to Dane? I mean, literally every single game that he breaks some kind of shatters some record, he's like, none of these records mean anything to me. MVP means nothing to me unless we win it all. And I think all the players feel like that. I think Allen feels the same way. Like, kind of take your fan aspect out of it a little bit and just think of where the players are at. Like, the players feel the same way that you feel. Like, if you don't win it all, that single accolade for yourself, that individual accolade, means absolutely nothing. If you win MVP and the Super Bowl, that's an amazing year. And I think it'll also be, like I just said, talked about more if you want, like, oh, that MVP Super Bowl season that Josh Allen had versus that MVP season Josh Allen had. Like, one will be remembered a lot higher than the other, obviously. But I think players would take it the same way. Like, they don't care about the individual accolades. At the end of the day, they want that Super Bowl and that championship. So, again, I think what we said originally, really cool if he wins it. Good for Buffalo. Good for him. If he loses, I don't care. Do something in the playoffs. Not saying they won't, but that's what we need.
I'll do one last tie-in here with the Buffalo Bandits and what happened last year. Josh Byrne won MVP. Bandits won the NLL championship, and he got married in the offseason. Josh Allen win MVP, just got engaged, maybe Super Bowl. Just putting that out there, putting that into the universe.
What did we say at the beginning of the season? This team needs to be down and out and discredited in order to win, and that's what they were all season. This was the rebuilding year. Not going to go anywhere. They got no offensive talent. Their defense is gone. Their captains are gone. The veterans are gone. Team's terrible. Here we are, 11-3, and looking all right. Now their defense.
You still suck. You still suck, Buffalo. The odds are all against you.
But seriously, your defense, can we not let in 40 points? That'd be appreciated.
Be a little healthy, please, too. Also,
also.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
okay.
3 weeks.
This is the segment we normally hate to talk about, but and we'll talk about the Bills New England game on the next show. Sabres. We made this more fun. We jokingly talked about creating a game for when the Sabres play, and
that's all you can do at this point.
Okay, Tuesday versus Montreal, they lost 6-1. Cousins was the only goal scorer. UPL pulled after the second, made 15 of 21 saves. Reimer came in relief, 6 of 6. Shots 27-21 in favor of Montreal, 0 for 5 on the power play. 11th loss in a row. They're last in the East. They're 2 points ahead of Chicago and Nashville for last place. All this, Terry Pegula flew to Montreal and gifted this team his presence. And let them know that I'm not spending any more money. I'm not fixing this team whatsoever. It's up to you guys to fix that. And I was on Talking Buffalo. The episode came out on Thursday. Not safe for work. Have earbuds. A lot of swearing, a lot of yelling, a lot of anger. But yeah, that's the game. Who really cares? I made a bingo board, Phil. Do you want to hear? Because you haven't heard the bingo lines yet.
I haven't. I did ask. I was not given.
I was not given. I did not give it to you.
Also, the Canadians are negative 26 goal differential on the year. Yes. They were bottom of the Atlantic, and they blew you out 6-1.
Yeah, you suck. You got scored on 20 seconds into the game after your head coach gifted you with his presence and said, "Hey, I believe in you," and you put out that performance. Yes. And it's Thursday.
Sell the team.
It's Thursday. The roster freeze happens in 4 hours and 10 minutes from this exact second right now. I'm just guessing nothing happens, but if something does happen, it checks off something on the bingo board. So here it is. I'm going to let you pick. Do you want the top board or the bottom board without seeing anything?
Bottom board.
Okay, here are your squares. Top down, left to right.
This is a lot of squares to go over.
It's a lot of squares. I'm going to fly through these. Samuelson gets hurt. That's your first square.
We're Bandits wins. Is that the middle?
Yeah. The middle's free. You get a free middle.
Yeah, that is free, though, because it's guaranteed to have.
That's true. But that's why you get one of the squares.
Fly.
Bandits win more games total than the Sabres win home games. The next one is team gets to the top 20 in points. I had to make some of these difficult and some of them easier. Yeah, full line brawl is your number 4. Team wins 3 games in a row. Just 3. Next one. Team reaches 35 shots in a game. Tuck says outworked in one of the after the game press conferences. Someone is fired. Doesn't matter who. Someone's just got to be fired. Team goes on a 5-game point streak. Not a winning streak. Point streak. Sabres pass Philadelphia in the standings.
No.
Team reaches 15 wins. They're at 11 right now. Sabres pass Ottawa in the standings. Then's your free square. Team scores 150 goals. I had to make some of these longer because I want this game to go on forever because this team stinks. Mags is ready for these next ones. Sabres have a top 30-point player. That does not mean the whole season. That means at some point in this season, a player gets into the top 30. 10 more here for your squares. Sabres pass Detroit in the standings. Either Cousins or Peterka is a healthy scratch. Team scores 7 goals in one game. Terry Pegula speaks to the media. That's a square for you. Good luck with that one. Empty net goal is scored. Team outshoots the opponent. That's all they got to do during that square. Team gets back to 500. Good luck, Phil. Levi, goals against average, gets under 3.3. I think it's 3.9 right now. Ruzic is recalled. And the final one, Sabres pass the New York Islanders in the standings. That is your bingo board. I'll find a way to post this on our social media sites. But that is Phil's bingo board. You can play along with us at home. Are you ready? What's your original thoughts on your bingo board? You got some tough ones, some easy ones.
Yeah, I said a lot of no's, so that concerns me. Tage Thompson and Alex Tuck are currently tied at 25 points for 67th in the league. There's a lot of ties. They got to get. They are out of the third. Tied for 31 is 32 points. So they're possible. They're 7 points off of getting up there. But that would mean the Sabres have to score. So that's not going to happen.
None of these are.
Some were easy, but a lot of them were tough.
Yeah, some of these are good. They're going to have to work for, and maybe this is all they need to turn it around. Are you ready for my board? My board is I tried to make them as even as possible. So
all right, hit me.
Okay. Again, top down, left, right. 5 Sabres reached 10 goals. They're at 1 right now. Team has a 3-game point streak. Top 15 in goals for per game. I think they're in like 22nd right now. They got a ways to go. Win 2 games in a row. I got a 2-game winning streak in a row. Okay. Team has 30 shots in 1 game.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite ones. Tage Thompson says they were outworked in one of the press conference ones right after the game. Sabres passed the New York Rangers in the standings. This one probably is going to be the most difficult one. Team makes a trade. Any trade. Doesn't matter what it is. If they make a trade, it's checked off. Team reaches 40 shots in a game. You had 35. I get 40. Sabres pass Tampa Bay in the standings. I'm in the middle. Team reaches 40 points. I don't think they're going to get to it anytime soon. Team scores 170 goals. You got 150. I got 170 goals on the year. Then my free square. Sabres pass Columbus Blue Jackets in the standings. Instead of Terry speaks to the media, I have the GM speaks to the media. Now, is that Kevin Adams or is that interim GM? I just put GM. Doesn't matter which one it is. Positive goal differential. Right now, they're pretty far in the negatives. As soon as they get to the positive, if they ever do, I get that one. Sabres pass Pittsburgh in the standings. Phil, this one should be easy for most teams, but for the Sabres, it's very difficult. They just went 0 for 5 on it. Score a power play goal. That's all you need to do. Score a power play goal. Team wins 5 games in a row. You had 3 in a row. I had 5. Team scores 6 in a game. You had 7. I have 6. So both of those could be checked off in one game if they get hot. Jack Quinn scores. That's all he's got to do. He's done it in twice this season. He's got 3 total goals, and only 2 of them beat a goalie. Tage, top 5 in goals. I think he's 11th right now. Team is over 500 in the standings. Rosine is called up. You had Rosique. I have Rosine. And the team ends the losing streak is the final square on the bingo board.
Wow, that'd be miserable. All right, so I followed along. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 10 yeses. So that's 2 bingos for you at some point. They
got to be in a row, though, remember.
Yeah, it depends on where they are. A lot of no's, but they're, I mean, I feel like we're both probably got about 10 that we can maybe get.
I think we'll see.
Are we doing standard bingo?
Standard bingo rules.
Right.
You got to get 5 in a row. They got to be touching. No,
First team to cover all.
First team to cover all wins everything.
Yeah, something big. I mean, it's impossible. It's not going to cover all. Would be literally impossible.
That means they're probably making the playoffs. But yeah, this is our new system of how to talk about the Sabres.
I'm excited to check it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to it, so we'll be able to check it off and keep track of it ourselves. I'll make sure it's somehow.
I'll have to print it and get with one of those dabbers, the bingo dabbers.
I got a spare one if you need it too. I just got to make the squares a little bit bigger for the dabbers. But we'll somehow get this onto the social medias or maybe on our website some way. We'll get it to you so you can play along.
Follow along.
Yeah, like we said, we don't
That's
really
all we
want to
can
talk
do
about
now
the
with
Sabres.
the Sabres.
Me and Pat Moran talked a lot about this the other day, that for content creators of the Buffalo Sabres, like, you can just play shows from like 7 years ago and it's the same things. And I was talking to him, and it's tough to talk about it because you don't want to be so negative because people don't want to hear the same thing over and over and over. And that's pretty much what it is. So we created a bingo game. So play along with us. This will make watching the games or just looking at the standings, because why the heck would you ever watch this team? and I can't wait to watch. I will say, tonight's game, Friday night, home versus Toronto, I'm watching that game because, man, if you want to see a sea of Toronto fans come to that game and just watch it on TV, because it's going to be 85-90% Toronto Maple Leafs fans, and I can't wait. Just anything good that the Sabres do, I hope they just clap. Like, they make a nice pass, clap. They get a shot on net, stand up and give them applause, because this team is softer than Cottonelle tissue paper. They stink. They're terrible. But I'm not going to rant, because we got a fun bingo game to play now when it comes to the Buffalo Sabres. Man, it's like 30 games in, and we're already at this point, Phil. I hate this team.
Yeah, it just reminds me how thankful I am that this is a Bandits-dominated podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And
we said that yesterday on
that
the show,
we
too.
are Bandits-dominated people, because it feels really, really good to cheer for a team that has been to 4 straight finals and won 2 in a row.
Cares, works hard.
Yeah. It's almost like 2 organizations are built pretty well, and one is floundering miserably.
Can you still hear me, Phil?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, because my video is frozen.
Oh, yeah, it is. You are frozen.
We're going to see how this goes. It's struggling to record.
I think I was listening to Off the Crossbar, and they mentioned that Chugger needs to go over to the Sabres and teach them how to build a team like he has done for the Bandits. And Loeffler can head over there as well. And I mean, they could still work for the Bandits. We don't need them leaving. But if they just want to throw some notes to Kevin Adams and the organization over there, that'd be appreciated from the waning Sabres fans. If they just give them some notes on how to build the team properly and a winning championship pedigree. Same building, wildly different results. Yeah, I can still hear you, but you are very frozen over there. We don't know if, we lost PK. This is going to have to take some extra editing, most likely. Bandits talk is coming up next. PK is refreshing his video and his audio. I don't know how much cut out, so we'll see if there was a long silence. But we are about to go through the Week 2 BSC Fantasy Game Top 10. Bandits are on the bye, and we're also going to go over the NLL Outlook.
Can you hear me, Phil?
I can hear PK, and this video is still gone.
Yeah, okay. I'm still recording, so let's just pick it up right here. I'll just continue to be a black screen.
Yeah,
and we'll
you look
figure
great.
this out later. Thank you. But, yeah, let's go into our first sponsor of the show, as I am in complete darkness. It's real dark. I'm going to struggle to try to read this sponsor read, Phil. Take it away with Tap That Tap Room.
Tap That Tap Room is at 363 Delaware Street in Tonawanda, New York. They are Buffalo's first women-owned self-pour bar featuring 30 consistently rotating taps. They offer a variety of beer, cider, sour seltzers, and malt beverages. PK, take it away if you can see.
Oh, I can still see. I got a little sunglasses over here. Friday, which is tonight, 3 to 7 happy hour discounts on the entire beer wall. Right after that at 7 p.m., the Vandals are playing live music right down at Tap That Tap Room. And then flash forward to Sunday, 1 p.m., Bills watch party, halftime jersey giveaways, and they will announce the player of the game. If you have that player's jersey, come to Tap That Tap Room, wear that jersey, get a free gift on entry. It's a wonderful place to watch the Buffalo Bills play. So for any other event that they have going on, and there's plenty, go to their Facebook page to check those out. And to find out what's on tap and what's on deck, go to tapthattaproom.com. Phil, it's time to go over some top 10 of the BSC fantasy game. You're going to be happy. Some people are going to be sad. Yep. There's been a lot of movement, but are you ready for the top 10 of what's going on in the BSC Fantasy Bandits game?
I am. I feel like for anyone watching on YouTube, everyone's just staring at my screen now, and it's intimidating.
Little nerve-wracking. Love it. Okay, number 1 is Jackson B. He is at 176. He moved up 2 spots. Number 2 is the only one that you can all see right now, so all your eyes direct right towards him, is Phil, our co-host. 169. He's up 3 spots, 7 points back of first place. Number 3 is Brad D. 164. He fell down 1 spot. The former number 1 overall team, Mike D. 161. Rising up 7 spots is Tim K at 156. Rising up 11 spots is Nick B at 151. Then comes in your spooky ghost over here, PK, at 150, up 4 spots. Number 8 is my wife right now, 149, up 10 spots. Stacy K, 148, 10 spots up. And to round out the top 10, down 3 spots is Jill M at 146.
I was going to say it's suspect that Brooke went up 10 spots, but then the next person you read also jumped 10. So I'll let it go.
That's very fair. Very fair of you. But yeah, that is our top 10. We are on bye right now, so don't expect any changes this coming Wednesday. But again, Wednesday
if
we
you do
update
see changes, there's a problem.
Then the spooky ghost over here. I really hope this isn't actually really recording me, Phil. But yeah, every Wednesday, remember, after the game, we do update these. So stay tuned. Look for that updated as of tab or list right above all the names, and you can follow through. There was one team. They're down at 26 right now. They dropped down 17 spots, Phil.
Yeah.
It's there was a lot of movement this last week, and I'll put in the parentheses how far you fell or how far you rose up. So
I like it.
Little added bonus there. But
Number 2,
like we said, the team is on bye, and while I might not be on screen right now, we are not. 2 games in, Phil. What do you think this team needs to do to improve, if it's even possible, when they've won 2 games? 15-7, 18-7, allowed just 7 goals in each game. They're in peak season form right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to call out a team, as you just mentioned, that won 15-7 and 18-7. The only thing really that comes to mind is a little bit of consistency with the scoring. I'm not going to complain when they get 18 goals and 15 goals. I don't care how you get them. But the fourth quarter has been huge in 2 games in a row, which it was all of last year. They like continuing that trend, which is this last game, it wasn't nerve-wracking. The other game, it was 7-6 heading into the fourth, so that got a little bit scary, but then they just blew it out. But I wish they would do that a little bit earlier. It seems to be, again, very similar to last year, where they kind of play out the first half, make adjustments in the third, and then really dominate in the fourth. The only other thing is the consistency with the power play and penalty kill. I feel like they have flip-flopped from game 1 to game 2. Game 1, there was no power play, all penalty kill. Game 2, penalty kill still did pretty well. I think they were 2 for 5. 2 for 5 against, so 3 for 5 on the penalty kill. And then 3 of 4 on the power play. So it's just the consistency to keep that going, get the penalty kill down a smidgen, but keep the power play looking great. I think that's about it. There's really not too much complaining or improving you can ask a team like this to do right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think the power play is the number one. It seems like they got a lot fixed in game 2.
They looked amazing.
I guess the biggest thing moving forward is in the next game they play, the banner ceremony. Emotions are going to be high. They did a very nice job last year, especially going against a team like San Diego, who was top in the league. You know, they ended up not reaching the finals, but they still reached the Final Four. You're going against Rochester, who's going to either be coming in at 1-3 or 500. They're going to be looking for some revenge for week 1. They want to get what you guys have. So I think coming in with the emotions, what they are, you need to be able to keep those in check and not overreact or get too hyped up into the game, which I don't expect them to. It's a lot of these players, second time going into a game like this. So that's the number one thing right now. And then the number 2 thing is kind of just stay healthy, which is kind of the same thing for all teams. Is if you're able to stay healthy, this is really your title to lose. There's not really There's a couple teams fighting for the number 2 spot right now, especially in my power rankings that you can go read the article right now out on buffalosportscollective.com. Selfish plug. But yeah, it's you're the clear front runner. Like this is yours to lose right now. And I'll be honest. I can't see as of 3 weeks in and 2 games played for the Buffalo Bandits. I don't see another team that matches what they're capable of doing on offense, defense, and special and in net. It's just they're a juggernaut. They're a freight train coming right at you. And if they're able to do this, this is after they had slow starts the past few years. Like They struggled to start the seasons. They were what 5-6 at one point after that Vancouver loss last year.
That was scary.
They started, I think, the season 3-3 at one point. I think they were under 500 early in last season too. If this is what you're expecting all year long, watch out because this team seems like they just got better from last year, and that's kind of what we were expecting based on who they brought back and the defense being even stronger. We were kind of questioning the left forward, but Ian McKay put egg all over my face after that game.
and
you can't see the egg, though.
Looks really good.
Still not there.
That's the other thing. I mean, Byrne, yes, he's gotten a bajillion assists, and he looks really good.
Still
this is nothing
quiet.
against him, but normally he's a goal-scoring machine. I feel like he's been pretty unselfish so far this season, but he hasn't really turned that ability on yet. And even Nanako's been kind of quiet. He's had goals here or there, but he hasn't really turned it on yet. So, like, for what they're doing and who's scoring and how they're scoring all over the place, and to not have your, as we'll mention for fun here, the former MVP of last year really crank up his goal scoring yet, it's pretty incredible what they've been able to do through 2 games. Like you said, until seen otherwise, this team is at the top and absolutely the team to beat in the entire NLL.
So the last little bit here is the NLL outlook. We only got 4 games on the docket right now. Friday, 10:30 is the 1-1 Philadelphia Wings going to the 0-3 Las Vegas Desert Dogs. Saturday, 7 p.m., 2-0 Saskatchewan Rush. Expect that game to go to overtime because that's all they play in right now. 1-2 Rochester Nighthawks. The 0-2 Halifax Thunderbirds, fresh off their embarrassing loss that they let Saskatchewan come right back to. Zach Mann's just lit it up. The 2-1 Colorado facing off against the 0-2 Halifax Thunderbirds. Saturday, 9 p.m., and then the final game before the holiday week, 2-0 Georgia. Rematch versus the 2-1 San Diego Seals. Saturday, 10 p.m., this time in San Diego. Phil, which game catches your eye?
Georgia and San Diego, 2-0, 2-1, both teams that are in the top, 4, 6 maybe? Top 6-ish in the league. I really don't know the other games. Philly and Vegas doesn't mean much to me. Saskatchewan and Rochester, I would love to say that I want to know what those teams are, but I don't know if that game gives it to us. And same with Halifax and Colorado. I don't know if that game really shows what either of those 2 teams are. So I think the Georgia-San Diego game is most interesting. No idea who I want to win that one. No idea. Pretty neutral. I think I want Georgia. I don't know. And then Saskatchewan and Rochester, I don't know who I'd want to win for a Bandits' sake, that one either. Halifax, obviously, you want to beat Colorado, but the other 2, I'm not sure. Who do you got, and what is your game of choice?
Yeah, I think the top game is pretty obvious. It's the Georgia versus San Diego one. I think, we all pick San Diego. I think having San Diego give Georgia another their first loss. I think Rochester getting back to 500. Giving Saskatchewan their first loss. Anytime you can give teams losses when Buffalo's playing the way they are, I think is ideal. The number one thing I'm going to be looking for is Philly's offense. Is it what we saw the first 2 games where they scored 15 goals in game 1 and 19 in game 2? Is that the type of offense we're going to see with Philly, or is it just based on the games they were playing?
Well, the problem is, does this one give you anything?
Probably not. I guess it depends on what kind of Landon Kells you're going to be getting. Are you going to get Landon Kells from game 1, or are you going to get Landon Kells from game 2? There was a vast difference between the 2.
I don't know. Play Georgia, play San Diego, play a team with really good goaltending and defense.
Well, they played San Diego game 1, and Chris O'Leary gave up 8 really quick.
I would say San Diego's. I don't know if he's been struggling.
Yeah, you are right though. I want to see them against a team that's got like a Vancouver with Aiden Walsh playing really well, and that defense back there. I want to see him face a Dobson. I want to see him face
Right.
like Frank Chiliano, who's playing unbelievable. That's another thing. I want to see if Frankie can make it 3 games in a row playing as electric as he is, and going against Hutchcraft, who is playing a lot better than he did last year, even though the team is 1-2. He's not the reason they're 1-2. It's because the offense dried up the last 2 weeks, and then Halifax. We both predicted them to take a step back this year, but 2 back-to-back games, 1-goal losses. How do you fare against a 2-1 Colorado Mammoth that are coming in off their first loss of the year? But it's going to be a fun weekend with 4 electric games, and I love that they're spaced out a little bit, Phil. I'm going to be able to catch all of them.
Yeah, it should be interesting, and the Bandits have way too many bye weeks coming up.
Yeah, rest up because the back half of your schedule is going to be absolutely insane. But we'll move forward. Last segment here. This one's going to be a fun one. We know that there's a bye week. We're a Bandits Central show. And with no Bandits preview or reaction, we had to fill a little bit of gap here. Even though it's not spooky season, but I still have no camera and I can't get it to fix. I'm afraid to cut off anything else, Phil. This is going to be interesting to see how I edit this together. It's the holiday season. We kind of did something similar last year, but this time we want to get a little violent. So we're going to be doing a holiday battle royale. We're going to be picking one athlete for each activity. Once that athlete is chosen, they cannot be chosen for anything else or by either team. At the end of this, we will put our teams out to vote for who has the best team. We've done this in the past, but this one's going to be a little different, because there's different categories. There's so many different players. But say I have a player for one of these 5 categories that we're going to be naming, and you have him for something else. If you pick him for that something else, I automatically lose my top pick for my other things. So it's going to be very interesting to see, hey, for example, it's a different team. Say I want Patrick Mahomes to do a certain thing, but you have him ranked number 1 on a different activity. If I take him for my number 1 activity, you can't have him for the other activity. So this one's going to be a very interesting one. The 5 activities here. Number 1, gift wrapping. Number 2, snowball fight. Number 3, cooking Christmas dinner. Number 4, caroling. And number 5, being the Grinch. Phil, how easy was it picking certain players for these non-sports related activities?
It was tough. I tried doing research and there was none to do.
Yeah, tough.
I did actively throw some Google searches out there. Nothing really came back at me. So it wasn't easy. It's some imagination and just trying to fit the activity the best.
So I can't remember who won the last draft, but I'll give you the option. Do you want the first pick or the second 2?
I've thought about this a lot, and I have yet to come up with a good answer. I'm just hoping our answers are wildly different, but I'm going to take, just because I know how people vote, so I'm going to take first 1, I think.
Oh, man. I think you're going to pick mine. Go ahead.
I'm going to take Josh Allen for the snowball fight.
Yeah, that was my number 1.
Yeah. I don't know. I had another good snowball fight one, but right now Allen's in the conversation for MVP. He is beloved by all of Buffalo. I think you just see that name, you're like, oh, well, obviously I'm voting for that team no matter what because they have Josh Allen. So really just going with the Homer crowd on that one. Josh Allen, snowball fight, first pick.
So I get my first 2 now. I'm still here. Black screen. I get it. I can't wait to edit this thing. Okay.
People are watching me drink water.
So if this might be one where you want to just listen on Apple or Spotify or whatever, or just do this and just focus all your attention on Phil for the second half of the show. I'm going to try to get him off his game for this draft here. If I'm drafting the correct way, I'm going to leave snowball fight for my last pick now because your spot's already filled.
There you go.
And I'm going to be smart here. So I'm going to turn my attention to...
This is going to get real boring in like 2 rounds when we're all done.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to go with in my opinion, one of the
Okay.
most important parts of the holiday season, and it's eating. And it's going to be the cooking Christmas dinner. And I went a little off board here. I have 3 options. 2 of them are for similar reasons, and the third one was more creative. But I'm going to go with the less creative one. One, because I'm going to pick this player. One, because he's a father. So you got to have some type of cooking ability to feed your children. Number 2, he is a very detail-oriented person. He's got a little black book on all shooters in the NLL, Phil. For cooking Christmas dinner, I'm going with Matty Vince. He's got the experience. I don't know how much experience he has in the kitchen, but he's detail-oriented. He's going to make sure he's got some ingredients in that little black book. I'm going Matt Vince cooking my Christmas dinner.
So, I love that we both went the father route in some aspect of this. I had Matt Vince for gift wrapping because of the father route as well. So we've got
I have
kids,
him in
probably.
gift wrapping as well, but because more detail
Yeah,
oriented.
I like it. I'm just saying. I mean, he's off my board, so I could say that because I can't pick him anymore anyway.
That's
for
fair.
that. But yeah, I had him for gift wrapping for that for similar reasons.
So, the Grinch, I have a lot of options. I'm going to let that one float back to you. Caroling, I don't think you and I have the same idea behind it, so I'm going to let that go. So I'm going to go to gift wrapping, and I'm going to go a similar thought process to why I had Matt Vince there, but I'm going to go Devin Levi. He's going to go Zen mode and be able to wrap all those gifts perfectly. All those corners are going to be perfectly creased. He's going to have used the least amount of tape possible. So my gift wrapper is going to be Devin Levi.
All right, so we're only down to caroling and Grinch.
That we each don't have, yes.
Yes. So, all right.
Which one are you
going
going
to
to steal? Which one's more important to you to get your number 1?
I mean, my caroling one, I feel like I should go caroling, but I'm going to try to let it slide. At
Gonna
this,
go Grinch?
so for my Grinch, it depends on. I have. Oh man, I don't know.
All the
I think
attention is pointed right
yeah,
at you
I
on
think-
YouTube.
I think I'm going to go Grinch, but it depends on if you allow the pick to happen. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So I'm going to say who it is, and you can. I'm okay if you discredit it.
So
and I
I
have to pick
think
my second
I
pick.
think your idea is something similar to what I was gonna do. So I'm inclined to allow it, even though it takes all my picks away.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're not on the same page. But my Grinch was going to be Kevin Adams.
Oh, okay. I'll let you have it. I went a different route, but similar.
Because he is just bringing a lot of misery to all of Buffalo, and that's what the Grinch did. He's in the first half, he's a mean guy and takes everybody's joy away, and that is currently what Kevin Adams and the Sabres are doing to all of Buffalo. They are a dark cloud, just like the Grinch in the top of his mountain is a dark cloud over Whoville. So going Kevin Adams, he makes me miserable, and the Sabres do as well.
Yeah, I love the pick. There are no palm trees in Whoville, so he's going to absolutely love it there.
Yeah, he's going to do great.
My Grinch picks paid off. All 3 of mine are still sitting there, so that means you don't have a caroler. So I'm going to get my number 1 caroler. And
If after this, we can just rattle if we want.
You rattle off whoever we want. I went a different route than I think you did, and we are both not thinking on the same wavelength besides Matt.
Not at all.
I personally, and I apologize if there are any good singers or carolers out on any of these teams. I don't think there are. So I'm going to go a little
I'm very
off
interested
the
to see
beaten
what you go
path.
here. Okay.
And I'm going to go, they can carol to you in a different language. And I'm going to go Rasmus Dahlin. He's going to carol to you in Swedish.
I feel like Sweden is probably a big holiday town. They get a lot of snow.
Who
right?
had, from Hypothetical History Days,
Oh boy,
the
throwback.
Krampus? Was that Sweden?
I know. Oh,
The one ate all the children.
No, I know who Krampus is.
Oh,
yeah.
that was Germany, wasn't it?
I think it was Germany. I was going to say
th-
Germany.
It's always the Germans.
Yeah, they got the evil Santa Claus. So yeah, we went very different ways.
Fair.
All right. So am I rattling?
Well, you can pick your number 2 on any of them because we all got our number 1s. So
That's what I'm saying. Are we going one at a time, or am I just launching the rest?
Yeah, just go one at a time. We'll still bounce back and forth.
All right. So because you can't steal any of the other ones, I went puns for most of mine, which was fun to come up with, but not easy. One of them's a stretch, and it's caroling, and I don't know why I thought you would have gone the same way at all. It's not even. It's a stretch to begin with.
There's no carols or Carls, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But we'll start with the fun one. Gift wrapping, I have Taylor wrap. He wraps gifts. Done. Nice and easy. So that is that was my gift wrapper outside of Matt Vince. Taylor wrapping gifts. So
I love it. So I still got to decide on what I'm going to do here. I already have my gift wrapper. So wrapping's off the table. I have Devin Levi. You have Taylor Rapp. Snowball fight is still out there. Christmas dinner I already picked. Caroler I already picked. I'm going to save the Grinch for last. So I'm going to go to my snowball fight. This is the interesting one.
Okay.
Will you allow me to have this player use something other than their hands to do these snowballs?
Are you going Dane Smith?
No, I was going to go Steve Priolo because I heard he still has the hardest shot on the team.
Interesting. Then, yeah, I also had Smith, and I was thinking lacrosse stick
Steve
snowball
Priolo's
throw.
gonna be my pick then.
Yeah, if I was going to do it, then I got to allow you to do it.
Yeah, I was. I'll let you know my Grinch what I thought you were going to go with once.
I do have a pun one, but it's a stretch as well. It's not. We'll get there. I'll go through my number 2. So cooking Christmas dinner, obviously James Cook. He's the chef.
I love it. I think you're going to win this draft.
Pretty simple. I was really worried you were going to go with James Cook cooking dinner. I did.
We went completely different routes.
Yeah. Most of mine ended up being Bills because they have a lot more names to choose from, and this is the only one I did research on, and it was Casey Toohill did cook dinner for the guests at the Ronald McDonald House for Thanksgiving, I believe. So he does cook. So that was going to be my other one if you took James Cook. But yeah, I'll take James Cook cooking dinner.
Very well done. I think you just sealed this off. My Grinch, who I thought you were going to pick, and I was going to allow it, was just the Buffalo Sabres. But we're on the same track here.
That was pretty much the same thing.
I'm going to go, the Grinch steals all my joy.
Yes.
All the excitement in life. I'm going to go similar route to you. I'm going to go Jack Quinn just because he's a soul sucker of a holiday, less fun type of person. So Jack Quinn is my pick for the Grinch.
I mean, if there was one spot that the Sabres are going to pop up on this list, it was going to be for the.
Oh, that's all I have. Is I have Dylan Cousins, Matthias Samuelson, and Jack Quinn. And if you were going to allow me, I was going to pick the entire Buffalo Sabres organization.
I probably would have let it go.
Last one for Caroler. I'm very interested with this one.
Caroler. This one it's a far stretch, but so ridiculous. So I picked Razul Douglas because Douglas fir is a type of tree.
Good
and
Lord.
I figured he could sing "Oh Christmas Tree." That's where I went with my caroling. He was the only one that was anywhere close to a Christmas Carol, even though it's a stretch for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna win this one. It's already over. I might not even get a single vote. Like this is bad. Like we went so completely different ways, and yours was so much better than mine. So congratulations on your first clean sweep of a draft here. You're destroying me in the battle royale of the Christmas holidays for Buffalo.
Thank you.
Well done, Phil. Well done.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Good time.
You got any other honorable mentions?
My honorable mention for Grinch, which was also the pun, was Keon Coleman, because he's the coal man, and he brings you coal to your stockings. But the problem is the Grinch doesn't do that. That was the issue I had with Coleman bringing coal to people. I mean, I feel like the Grinch could do that if he wanted. I mean, that's what, he steals toys. He could replace it with coal, but it's more of a Santa thing, I think, still. So I'm happy I didn't have to go that route, but I did like the coal man giving out coal for Christmas.
Yeah, the only possible one that I should have went with, which was my number one pick, which I'm kind of regretting at this point, was Dane Smith because he's an assist guy. He's dishing out assists, so he's going to be dishing out the dinners. But
There you go.
I kind of regret my number one pick now. Great.
Yeah,
What a
did you have
fun
any
idea I
other?
came up with.
Did you have any other ones?
No, nothing good. Like Dennis Gilbert, I had him for a snowball fight because he wasn't going to throw snowballs. He was just going to go over there and beat the heck out of you. Christmas dinner, also I had Kyle Buchanan. I had Reeve Ferguson because I had to include him in this holiday draft because
Yeah,
we
that
did
seems
last
fair.
year. And then Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen because I figured he can sing and finish.
You really got
I was trying to go opposite languages for Carolyn because I really don't think any of these guys
I don't think
Carolyn.
any of them can sing.
I don't think it matters. You won the draft. Do we even have to put out a graphic here? Do I have to send these results to producer Pat? To make...
You're so upset.
I'm not happy, Phil. Anything else in this episode before we shut it down and try to figure out what the heck went wrong with my camera?
Yeah, I mean, I guess good time. A lot of laughter over here for this draft. So that's good. If you got to watch me do anything, it was a lot of laughing rather than me just sitting here doing nothing, which is usually what it is. So I guess there was some entertainment if you can't watch PK. Hopefully it's recording him anyway, secretly.
We are. Yeah, I double-checked. I have the original one, but we're going to make sure we get this one as well. Otherwise,
this will be
there
fun
might
to
not be
figure
an
out
episode
behind
on
the
it, right?
scenes.
Maybe we're talking to an oblivion. Maybe you're not even looking at my ghost of a screen. But yeah, this will end this fabulous episode of 319. Next show, Sunday. We're recording Monday. The episode comes out. We will be talking about the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots, their first time meeting, even though it's already week 16. Maybe I'll be in a good mood and be back on screen because I win my fantasy matchup, which I will because I'm facing Texas John. You'll win your matchup because you're facing him in the Dynasty League. We'll see if we check off anything on our bingo board. We'll go over the NLL that was, and we have another fun holiday segment because we're still on bye with the Buffalo Bandits, and Christmas is right around the corner. So we got another fun activity there. So this will wrap up this episode. If you stuck with us this long on YouTube, keep your eyes peeled right on Phil as I close out this segment. So thank you all for listening to another episode of the Buffalo Sports Collective. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Buffalo Sports Collective, and on X and Blue Sky at Buffalo Sports Co. Visit our website at buffalosportscollective.com. Check out our store and our link tree on our socials or at the shop tab at the top of the website. Follow our channel wherever you listen to podcasts, including YouTube, even though I'm not there in person. Leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. Until next time, bye-bye.